everybody, KY Prepper 5 here with another video today. I certainly appreciate you stopping by to check this channel out. And today I wanted to talk about how to get your spouse to start prepping with you, or for you all to start prepping together. How do you approach that subject with them, and what do you need to try to say, and how do you need to go about this? The first thing that I think you need to do is you need to sit down and have an honest, open discussion with your spouse about preparedness and how important it is to you and how important you think it is to your family. When you get ready to have this conversation, pick a time and place. Don't rush in and run into the living room while they're sitting there watching their favorite TV show. Pick a time and place, maybe mention it to them ahead of time and say, hey, honey, I'd like to sit down and talk to you about some preparedness and some things that I think we might need to start doing to be better prepared for things in the world that's going on right now. When you start that conversation, you need to approach it from how you think they're going to react and what they find plausible. Don't be this guy. Honey, I've been watching YouTube, and Planet X is getting ready to come out from behind the sun, and that means the Anunnaki's coming back, and they're going to release the zombie hordes on the earth and wipe out everything, so we need to mortgage the house, empty our savings, and put a bunker in the backyard. What do you think? When you start this conversation, think about the economy, inflation, things that's going on in the world right now, the train derailment up in Ohio that is going to look like turns out to be a major disaster. Maybe mention to them, honey, you know how hard it was on your brother last month when the power was off due to that ice storm and he spent 4 days with no power and no water. If that was to happen to us, what would we need to do? How would we react to that, and what can we do to be ready for something like that? The other thing when you're having this conversation, don't be the doomsday preppers like it was on TV, and like the example I used, the Anunnaki coming back and releasing the zombie horde on the earth, or all these other doomsday scenarios that you've seen on doomsday preppers. Keep it logical and what could actually can and might occur for you and your family. When you do this, you need to develop a plan together and address both of your concerns. They may have different concerns than you, and you need to listen to what they say and what they think might be an issue, and develop a plan together and work on that plan together. Show them that their concerns and ideas are important to you. Their concerns might be real important. You might be thinking of something else, and they may come up with a more plausible scenario that you hadn't even thought about at the time. So, this needs to be a joint plan, and you need to work it together. If you try to use the it's my way or the highway approach, you're not going to get anywhere. I'm the king of this castle, or I'm the queen of the castle, and what I say goes is not going to work, and it's not going to get them to agree and help you with getting a preparedness plan together. And you need to be willing to compromise. What you think is the most important purchase to make right now might not be the most important purchase to them, but maybe you can kind of meet in the middle, and both of you need to be willing to compromise and make sure that you address both parties' concerns for the better of everybody. The main thing you need to do also, once you start working on a plan together, is don't break their trust. If you sat down and you talked about it and your plan was, okay, we're going to save up some money and we're going to buy a generator that we can use when the power goes out. And to them, that's their idea, that's the most important thing to them. And you agree with that and say, okay, yeah, I agree. Next month we're going to buy a generator. Well, then the next month rolls around and you take that money and go out and buy a new AR-15 and 2,000 rounds of ammo and come prancing in the house with that and say, look here what I bought. And they're going to say, well, what about the generator? Oh, well, we'll get that in another month or two. I thought this was more important. Well, that wasn't what was more important to them, and that's not really affecting your plan that you all agreed to. If you do that, you've broken that trust, and they're going to look at you as you're being selfish because you wanted that gun, but that's not what we agreed to, and you're being selfish. And so, if that's the way it's going to be, then we're not going to do this at all. Another thing that's real important if you start working on a preparedness plan is don't stop living for today. If you all go out on date nights once a week, continue to go out on date night, but maybe make the suggestion that instead of going every week, we'll go out every other week, and the one week we're going to stay home and we'll watch a movie together and maybe order a pizza, and we'll take that money we save from going out and put that toward our preparedness plan. To me, if the other spouse feels like that they're having to do it without everything that they always wanted and the things that they enjoy doing because you're wanting to spend all the money on preparedness and not do anything that they want to do, then you've lost them again, and that plan's going to fall apart, and you're not going to get that trust back again. Another thing that can help get your spouse to cooperate and go along and get into preparedness is to do things together that help you reach your preparedness goals. Maybe they want to go to a canning class that they see is going to be coming up on next Saturday at the extension office, and that's your day to go fishing. So, cancel your day of fishing and go to the canning class with them. You might not be interested in canning, but it might be real important to them, and they're really showing an interest in it. And by doing stuff together and you compromising and doing something that they want to do can show them that you're sincere with them and you take their concerns serious, and they may want to do something with you that you want to do the next time. But if you don't never want to do anything with them, they're going back to the selfish thing again, and they're not going to do anything, and they're probably going to stop this preparedness with you to begin with. Part of that too is if you're growing a garden as part of your preparedness plan, and there's a vegetable or something that your spouse really likes that you just despise, I couldn't stand to eat that. Grow it anyway because they like it and they want it. And again, you're compromising and doing something that supports what their ideas are, and it's not going to hurt you to grow a little bit of something for them, and maybe there's something you like that they don't, and then you can compromise that way by having both. The other thing that you need to do is you need to set goals and continue to have open and honest discussions about your preparedness plan. Things change. Maybe they come up with some new ideas that's important to them, but if you don't sit down and discuss it, then it's probably not going to come to the forefront for you to address it. And by reviewing your plan and setting goals, and you can sit down and say, hey, we intended to have 3 weeks of food storage, and we've been working really hard at this, and now we've got a month's worth of food put back. We've exceeded that goal, and address your goals and make sure that they're reasonable and you can reach them, and don't set lofty expectations that, right off the bat, we're going to have a year's worth of food and 14 firearms, and we're going to have us a big 4-wheel drive bug out vehicle. You need to have realistic goals that you can reach, and it shows some accomplishment to not only to yourself but also to them. The other thing you need to do is you need to be encouraging and show appreciation for the things that they're doing. If they come to you and say, look here, I canned my first jars of green beans, and look at these. Look at them. Brag on them. Say, those look great. I'm so glad you done that, because you're encouraging that behavior. But if you just, I ain't got time to fool with you right now, or well, them don't look that good, you've discouraged them, and again, they're probably going to say, well, why am I doing this? And then let's just stop this preparedness stuff. I'm not getting anything from it. The other thing you can do is if they do a major contribution to help you reach one of their goals, buy them a little surprise gift. You know, heap some praise on them. Take them out to dinner and to show how much you appreciate them reaching that goal and helping you reach your goal. And, you know, don't never criticize them. Never criticize them for anything they do, or some kind of mistake you feel like they made, or, you know, you're probably going to make some mistakes too. And, you know, if you start criticizing, they're probably going to stop doing it. Okay, you've sat down, you've had that open and honest discussion with them, and they still look at you and say, you're crazy. You know, we're not doing that. I'm not being involved in this. What do you do then? Well, for one thing, don't be a pest. Don't be overbearing and start demanding things, and or just, you know, every time you look at them, honey, we really got to start doing this prepping thing. You know, we've got to get some food in this house for hard times. We've got to buy this generator because, you know, the power might go out. You know, why won't you listen to me? Instead of doing that, you know, you've had that discussion. Let it sit for a little bit. Give them some time to think it over, and then open it up to discussion again. So, you know, we talked about this, and it's really important to me. It's something we really need to do for our family so that we can be ready in the event of an emergency. You know, the other thing you can do is start doing a few little things. You know, don't blow out the budget. Don't go max out the credit cards. But, you know, maybe pick up a few extra household items that they know is not going to go to waste. It's something you use all the time. Tell them you picked it up on sale and thought it was a good deal, and put it up on the shelf, you know. You know, when you had that initial conversation with them, and maybe you addressed it that, you know, honey, I've been seeing on the news how bad inflation is, and they're talking about some things not available in the store. And, you know, if they're the one that does the shopping, ask them, you know, are you having trouble finding something in the store? Maybe they tell you they can't find their favorite cat food for their cat that's, you know, the world to them. So, you know, maybe that's a little thing you can do. Come in and say, hey, look here, I found a bag of that cat food you was wanting for the cat. You know, I picked it up on my way home from work today. Just, you know, do a few little things. Like I said, don't blow out the budget. And by getting a few little things and building into it gradually, that shows them that you was sincere to begin with, and that this is something that is a concern of yours, and you're really wanting to fix this issue. Okay, everybody, just some of my ideas. I know when I first started this preparedness journey, my wife didn't really get into it. She could kind of cared less. She thought it was my little crazy hobbies, and she just kind of let it go, and she just kind of tolerated it. But then, you know, we had a few things happen, and she's seen how nice it was. And the one thing that she really loves now is, and it was her idea, to turn a room. We actually built a smaller room onto our house, and right off the kitchen, that's her pantry. And she wanted that. And I was all for it. It was a wonderful idea. And, you know, we stocked that pantry, and that's her grocery store. You know, she runs out of something in the kitchen, she knows she can just step into the pantry, and there it is. And she can take it in the kitchen, and she's not doing without, and not having to make a trip to the store to pick something up. So, you know, don't give up on them. But again, don't be overbearing. I understand, ladies, this is coming from a man's perspective. So hit me up in the comments below, ladies. What's some of the things you've done, or some of the ideas you think would work to get your husband on board with preparing? You know, and everybody, if there's something I missed, if there's a really good suggestion in there, put it in the comments so that we can all learn together. I really appreciate you watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.